Welcome to TheraTea, where we spill the tea on therapy, mental health, feelings, and everything in between. I'm your host, Dr. Sonya D. Grab a cup of tea and take a sip. We're diving into a topic that shapes every part of our lives: self-awareness and accountability. The tea of the day. You can't change what you don't see, and you can't see what you're trying to ignore or make excuses for. Let's sip on it. A personal pour. 15 years ago, I went on a journey of self-discovery and self-awareness. For years, I felt like life was just happening to me. Every setback, every struggle, I saw it as something being done to me, something I had no control over. But then I realized I had a choice. I could either keep living on autopilot, blaming circumstances and other people, or I could take control. That's when I learned the power of self-awareness and accountability. The moment I stopped playing the victim and started owning my decisions, everything changed. And let me tell you, that shift didn't just transform my personal growth. It changed my relationships, my career, and my entire mindset. So today, we're going deep into what self-awareness really means, why accountability is the foundation of real change, and how both can help us build stronger relationships. So what is self-awareness? Self-awareness isn't just about knowing who you are. It's about understanding why you do what you do, how you show up in the world, and how your actions affect the people around you. It's recognizing your patterns, both good and bad, and being honest enough with yourself to acknowledge where you need to grow. When we lack self-awareness, we move through life reacting instead of responding. We repeat old patterns, stay stuck in toxic cycles, and never realize that we are the common denominator in our problems. But when we cultivate self-awareness, we gain clarity. We start seeing our triggers, our habits, and our blind spots. And once we see them, we can change. Here's a truth bomb. No one can make you angry, mad, or frustrated. That's all you. Your emotions belong to you, and it's your responsibility to manage them regardless of what others do, whether it's fair or unfair. Think about it like this. Someone cuts you off in traffic. You have a choice. You can let that moment ruin your entire morning, cursing at them from behind the wheel, arriving at work in a bad attitude, or you can take a deep breath. Recognize that your reaction is your responsibility and let it go. Same thing in relationships. Ever had someone say, "You made me mad," or "You ruined my day"? Truth is, no one has that kind of power over you unless you give it to them. Your emotions, your responses, that's all you, friend. It doesn't mean people won't do unfair or frustrating things, but it does mean that you control how much power they have over your peace. Emotional self-control is a muscle, and the stronger you build it, the less you'll be at the mercy of other people's actions. The role of accountability in personal growth. Self-awareness without accountability is just insight with no impact. It's one thing to recognize your patterns. It's another to take responsibility for them. Accountability is owning your actions, your choices, and the consequences that come with them. It's admitting when you're wrong, making things right, and doing better moving forward. And let's be real. Accountability is uncomfortable. It requires humility. It forces us to let go of excuses and actually change. But that's where real growth happens. I had to learn this lesson the hard way. There's a time when I would deflect blame, make excuses, or justify my actions instead of just admitting when I was wrong. It wasn't until I lost someone's trust that I realized excuses don't fix broken relationships. Changed behavior does. When I finally took accountability, not only did I rebuild that trust, but I became a better person because of it. We've all heard that saying, "I'm sorry." But what does it really mean if nothing changes? An apology without changed behavior is just manipulation. It's like someone borrowing money and promising to pay you back, only to come back a week later with the same excuse, another apology, and an empty wallet. Eventually, you stop believing them. Or imagine a friend who constantly cancels plans last minute. Every time they hit you with a, "I'm so sorry, I swear I won't do it again." But guess what? They do again and again. Eventually, you stop making plans with them because their words mean nothing without action. Real accountability means proving through consistent effort that you're committed to doing better. If you or someone in your life is stuck in a cycle of empty apologies, it might be time for you to step back and ask, is this real accountability or is it just words? Well, how to build self-awareness and accountability? I'm glad you asked. Self-awareness is a skill that takes time to build, but once you develop it, you can begin to move through life with more clarity, intention, and emotional intelligence. Here are 7 steps to help you strengthen your self-awareness. Grab your journal and write this down. Step 1, pause and reflect. Pay attention to your emotions. When something triggers you, don't just react. Ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Notice your patterns. Are you repeating the same mistakes in different situations? What themes keep showing up in your life? And be honest with yourself. Where do you need to grow? What feedback have people given you that you've ignored? Step 2, identify your triggers. What situations or people tend to bring out strong emotional reactions in you? Do you shut down in conflict, overreact, or avoid certain situations? Understanding your triggers help you anticipate and manage your responses instead of reacting impulsively. Step 3, track your thoughts and behaviors. Journaling or voice notes can help you reflect how you think and act throughout the day. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? Where could I have handled things better? Look for patterns over time to recognize areas where you can grow. Step 4, get comfortable with feedback. Ask trusted friends, family, or mentors how they experience you. Listen without getting defensive. The goal is to understand, not argue, and not make excuses. Constructive criticism isn't an attack. It's a tool for growth. Step 5, challenge your internal narrative. The way you talk to yourself shapes your reality. Are you holding on to limiting beliefs like, "I'll never change," or "I'm just bad at relationships"? Or what about this? "They are the problem. If they just do what they're supposed to, I won't behave like this." If this is the case, reframe your thoughts. We believe what we tell ourselves, even when it's a bold-faced lie, as my mother would say. So stop lying to yourself. Step 6, practice mindfulness and presence. Self-awareness isn't about looking at the past. It's also about being present in the moment. Practicing mindfulness by checking in with yourself throughout the day. How am I feeling? What do I need right now? The more present you are, the more aware you become of your own thoughts and your actions. And step 7, own your choices and your actions. No more excuses. If you mess up, admit it. Don't shift blame. Take full responsibility for your actions. Growth isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional with how you show up. Developing self-awareness is a journey, not a destination. So keep practicing. Stay open to learning and watch how your life and your relationships transform. So let's make this practical. Let's do a mini self-awareness exercise. So grab a notebook, your TheraTea journal, or just take a quiet moment and reflect. First, think of a recent conflict or mistake. What happened? And be completely honest with yourself. Then ask yourself, did I take responsibility or did I make excuses? How did my actions affect the other person? And have I actually changed my behavior or just apologized? Then commit to one action. If you need to make amends, do it. If you need to change a behavior, start today. And if you need to ask for feedback, reach out to someone you trust. The takeaway. Remember, therapy isn't about fixing you because you're not broken. It's about equipping you with the tools to recognize, replace, and refine the thoughts, patterns, and behaviors that make you feel or even look broken. Practicing self-awareness allows you to see yourself clearly, your triggers, your actions, and the way your past experiences shape your present. Accountability empowers you to take ownership of your healing, rather than being held hostage by old wounds and unhealthy cycles. Together, these practices create a healthier, stronger version of you, one that fosters growth, connection, and more fulfilling relationships. Now that's the TheraTea, y'all. Before you go, spill the tea. Share this episode with a friend who needs to hear it. Follow me on Facebook and TikTok, and let's keep the conversation going. I'll be back next time with more real talk, more resources, and of course, more TheraTea. And like I always say, I'm not the one to gossip, but I'm spilling the tea, the TheraTea.